Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and welcome to Dev Talks. This is Adi Achint. I have with me General Rajiv Narayanan. Last time he created quite a stir. Let me say that, sir, right to begin with, by, by putting across a theory which tells us the future of Pakistan. Today, we're going to cause a little further stir by actually deep diving into it and finding out what India should do. अब भाई पाकिस्तान का जो फ्यूचर is coming up, what we can see happening to Pakistan, what does India do in this entire aspect? And before I hand over to General Zab, I want to say this out loud very clearly to everybody. 3:30 Saturdays, book your calendar. General Sir and myself will be on Dev Talks live at 3:30 every Saturday, taking up a interesting and a twisted topic, if I may, like this, which a lot of other people, and I'm going to say that very blatantly, do not even want to touch. Sir, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Adi. And I'll give it a little more twist with some
Chalo.
tadka, desi tadka to what is there. A lot of people have reached out to me also after what I had spoken last time of USA's grand strategy, and especially on Pakistan. And there is a lot of chatter which goes on in various think tanks, in write ups of whether Pakistan is being Lebanonized or Pakistan is being balkanized. But I will give you a new thought and compare it also on ground. Kya ho raha hai? That is it being Lebanonized? Is it being Iraqized? Is it being balkanized? Or is it being made into something else? And that has very dangerous portents for India. We have to be careful. Could we have the slide?
This is going to be fun.
Yeah. So basically, this is a likely grand strategy, US grand strategy in our neighborhood. And essentially, how can we safeguard our interests? Should we take over POK? Now, this Azad Kashmir, which I have got written here, this is straight from the CIA fact book. So please remember, we keep talking POK, which is complete Gilgit Baltistan. The CIA fact book has Gilgit Baltistan separate and Azad Kashmir. They don't talk of, they don't still say POK. कभी CIA fact book में जाके map देख लेना. Okay, next. Now this is what I had given, what they want to do with uh, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Balochistan, Persia. This is our neighbor. And it impinges directly on our security. And so we should be bothered more about this than what is going on in Iraq, Lebanon, Syria, and all. It's further away, does not directly impact us. What they have shown here, next, see, what I have marked in red is the area ceded to Afghanistan. Though the actual map in PNAC, the area in that corner peak in green, that is Siachen Glacier. Just where JNK का मीट होता है वो एक ट्रायंगल बना है, उसके ऊपर शख्सगाम वैली लिखा हुआ. That is Siachen. I have not taken out Siachen, but if you see the map, go back to the previous map. Siachen Glacier has also been given to Afghanistan. So remember, this is one of the proposals. Okay. Now we know that they are behind the political turmoil.
Correct.
The economic collapse has added to Pak army's problems because the internal strife was already there. So they are facing a triple hammer blow, which they never faced in their history till date from 14th August. There is a huge internal strife, there is a economic collapse, and there is a total political turmoil going on. And I don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. Aisha Siddiqui the other day was in Delhi and she was trying to say that you can manage. I don't think so. Now, is Pakistan army is defanging in the works? IMF, IAEA, Rothschild, Bank, US State Department visits, and most importantly, are nuclear weapons being neutralized, like Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and other of the Warsaw Pact countries and others whose nuclear weapons were neutralized by IAEA.
Correct,
And
sir.
please remember the IAEA visit which took place now, the IAEA commissioner who came there, that's not a routine visit. Routine visits take place on the civilian nuclear reactors that you have given out to the IAEA, and they come annually to visit all countries. They come and visit to check that you are not pilfering anything from there and it is secure. This is something different. Pakistan hardly uses any of its nuclear energy for providing power to its people. Okay, next.
Can I just
Yeah,
once
please.
more? So, the political turmoil and the economic collapse has, of course, US, we know Imran Khan का काफी उसमें role है, but how do you fit in the economic turmoil also, considering the factor that India also had a role to play in that?
See, economic turmoil has always been now a big problem for Pakistan.
जी.
First thing is, it has, right since its inception, it has been a state living on credit card. You finished the limit of one credit card, you took out from somebody else another credit card to pay that previous credit card and carry on. Over a period of time, it has now built up is that you're not able to pay back the loan. You're taking loan to pay back interest, which is a very dangerous thing because it has collapsed. And the donors have walked out. Nobody is giving you. Its biggest industry was the one of the biggest, I would say, was the fake Indian currency racket which it was taking, and that took the biggest hit when we went on demonetization. There is one report which says that they had invested so much of their dollars into printing equivalent of 17 lakh crore of
Ooh.
fake currency to be pumped in from Pakistan, Nepal, and from Sri Lanka. And they must have also shelled out uh, money to these people. And you demonetized, and look at what has happened to all these three countries' economy today.
Wow.
While Sri Lanka does not face an internal threat and strife and other things, it faces an economic collapse and, yeah, political turmoil in the sense that people came out, but I won't say it is as bad as Pakistan. Pakistan doesn't know what to do today. The polity which was living off the loans and doles that they were getting suddenly are getting no loans, and they don't know how to run the country.
Hmm.
किसको लेके आओगे, कौन है, who is the person who will come and try to resolve your economy when there is nothing in your economy which can be pulled back. I don't see any light. That's why I say I don't see light any at the end of the tunnel, either politically or economically. Today the economic collapse is hitting the army. After all, the QMG has got a letter from the field commanders that they can't field their soldiers, and it is directly going to impact on kind of operations that you can conduct. It costs money. Revenue expenditure के लिए पैसे कहाँ है तुम्हारे पास? If you want to do like some chatter which was coming on their net and others that do another Zarbe Momi another Zarbe Azb and other things, it costs money. फ्यूल है नहीं आपके पास, तो अपने एयरक्राफ्ट को उड़ाओगे कैसे? एक दिन उड़ा दोगे, 2 दिन उड़ा दोगे, then what will you do? You blow up your ammunition. Where are the reserve ammunitions coming to? So that is why I said the problem it is facing is very acute. It's a big problem, and when you have collapsing nations on your border, you have to be careful.
Hmm.
You have to be careful. It is a major thing. So essentially, we do have a geopolitical, geostrategic, and a geo economic standing and heft today to some degree. So, should India accept this likely redrawing of borders? And here comes what I say. Is there a Somaliization of Pakistan going on? Is
Hmm.
Pakistan the new Somalia? And I'll compare that in the next slide. Now, we can India work with the US to create a more secure neighborhood for yourself? Whatever they are trying to redraw or whatever happens, whether they're doing or not, but if they are, then we should also step in to see how should the borders be drawn that you are secure.
जी.
You do have a few options. I'll discuss that in my later slides. But you need to do the net assessment, which I keep insisting, how it will impact each of these options on overall security in the near, medium, and long term. That's
Correct.
how your strategies will come out and then take a decision. But most important, you need to have patience. These things take time to fructify on ground. Don't be in a hurry. And whatever you're doing, if there is a need to take a mid course correction, go ahead and do it. So that is why even in the net assessment, you're given windows every 5 years to keep assessing that what you have done, what you thought, is your strategy okay, or you need to modify your strategy, or you need to. It is not when I say mid course correction is not on the final objective only. It is on the strategy that you're utilizing on ground to achieve your objective. So it is both. You can modify your strategy, or if you feel the strategy is successing, something else is evolving because geopolitics and geostrategy is a very dynamic field. Something new is evolving. You need to modify your objectives. Please do. That is how you will be able to achieve something, is my opinion. Next slide. Now, this is the Somaliization of Pakistan. On the left, you have Somalia. Somalia is like a figure 7 in the Horn of Africa. So you have towards the lower around Mogadishu is the main Somalia. That is the area where the writ of the Somali government runs. Above that is Puntland. Puntland, Somalia government's writ does not run.
Does not work. हाँ जी.
It is autonomous. Then there is a patch of disputed territory, and after that, north of Ethiopia, you have what is known as Somaliland. It is declared independent and it has its own governance on ground. Okay. When Siddi
Okay.
Bari was fighting in the 90s, these were
Yeah.
the people who went there. Now
So
you look
this
on the others. Yeah.
this
This,
Puntland is where the all the kachra happens, right?
no, Somaliland. And main Somalia में होता है पूरा कचरा. Somalia में the red runs, but there are all your ISIS and Al Qaeda and all those gangs are
हाँ वो
operating.
तो sir they are common public there ना.
Yeah. So Puntland is autonomous. But the disputed area between Somalia, Puntland and Somaliland is that disputed territory which is given there. जहाँ पे जो मेन लड़ाई वगैरह होता रहता है. And Somaliland is, it has not been recognized by other countries, but it is runs its own government. And Somalian government which is there around Mogadishu has nothing to offer. When you look at Pakistan, Balochistan is equivalent to Puntland, almost achieving its autonomy. लड़ाई हो रही है बट उतना ज्यादा कुछ हो नहीं रहा है पाक का वहां पे. इफ यू लुक एट केपी और केपीके और केपी खैबर पख्तूनख्वा एरिया टू द नॉर्थ, it is like Somaliland. They have declared their own governance. They have declared their own government. Is Pakistan able to do something there? I don't think so. Now you come to the GB area, Gilgit Baltistan area. This is akin to the disputed area. He wants to do something there. The Chinese also want to have a footprint there. The Shias there don't like the Sunnis who have come there. So this is turning out to be a sort of a disputed area which is there between Somaliland and Puntland. And that leaves you with Sindh, Punjab, and that balance of POK, the Chota Sa thread, where it still has a tenuous hold because the TTP still comes and hits in these areas.
So that is the
Karachi,
Somalia part of it.
this is the Somalia. So I would say that the way things are going, it is the Somaliization of Pakistan and not any Lebanonization or anything at the moment.
Hmm.
At the moment, this is where it is going. How it changes on ground depends. Now, it's not good to have such a thing in your backyard. इथियोपिया केन्या तो NFA इथियोपिया पे तो डेजर्ट एरिया है काफ़ी है अंदर बाहर निकल के भी जाते हैं कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता उनको सो फॉर अस इट इज़ very critical how you defend your maritime and land borders against this kind of a threat which is evolving, because if it has a tenuous hold, what happens, and the most critical is what happens to its nuclear weapons.
Biggest question.
Okay, yeah. And is the visit of IAEA and the US Deputy Assistant Secretary of State who visited there of South Asia, is something brewing, is something happening? And in such a situation which is there, it is really amazing to find that the Pak Army Chief is mum. He hasn't spoken, I haven't seen him speak at all.
Yeah, I haven't,
What is,
actually, I don't know what he sounds like.
yeah, I haven't heard him speak at all. There's no speech of his anywhere.
That's interesting.
How is he, what does he look like? Because politicians, bureaucrats are NFA. Here we have to be clear, what does the Pak army think and what is his plan of action? How is he going to react to this? Can he react with the kind of economic travails that Pakistan is going through? It's easy to say that it will survive. Fine, it may survive, but in what shape and size? That's the question. So we have to look at our own options, what we can work with USA, what we need to, if we find something else which is better for our security, do we need, and US may not agree, how do we work with US to see that we get a secure area? So I'll show some options. Next. This is the option one. Take over the full Gilgit Baltistan. So balance POK, which is written as Azad Kashmir, is with Pakistan. Such an issue is seat once and for all, and we get the connectivity to Central Asian republics and Afghanistan. But caution, Gilgit Baltistan is critical for CPEC
Hmm.
and has presence of PLA because an entry of China into uh, Pakistan is through this region. So there would be some reaction from there. But the biggest problem for Pakistan now becomes its defense. Because earlier your offensives used to go into the river corridors. So he used to have the Jhelum Chenab corridor, the Ravi corridor, and all that. But that's all gone. Because the moment you come up, you just roll down on either side of Indus. And you hit straight Islamabad. How does he defend? His canals and all which he has built up, the natural defenses on his canals are all north south. So that the east to west offensive, you get multiple obstacles.
But if you're
So
on
you
both
have,
sides of the Indus, that I didn't think about.
okay, now do you realize why the Britishers worked to give Gilgit Baltistan to the Pakistanis?
Yeah, this would have been suicide for Pakistan.
Yeah, the POK area was also engineered to be left with Pakistan. Otherwise, medium range में था Afghanistan. Islamabad was undefensible at that time. Islamabad तो था ही नहीं.
I
Rawalpindi था.
mean,
Rawalpindi was not defensible at all. And just outside Islamabad is their Kahuta.
लॉन्ग रेंज शेलिंग में ही मार देते आप उसको. वाह.
But at the moment, this may be acceptable to USA because the balance of POK, which the CIA fact book writes as Azad Kashmir, provides some depth to Islamabad and Rawalpindi, but from the north it doesn't. So, would the US be okay with GB being an independent state? But you got to look at the survival of this independent state. How does it survive? It's easy to say कि independent हो जाओ या एक portion तुम ले लो. It doesn't work. I would say go the whole hog and take over. Yeah, you may have a Sharia Afghanistan on your border. I think we should be able to manage it because Wakhan corridor is very poorly.
Man.
It, there's hardly any habitat out. So you will be able to work it out with them. And it, I'll tell you आगे चाइना का क्या वरी रहेगा. Okay, next. Next is ओए ये मैप हिल गया. Okay, we
Oh,
take over the whole POK.
my apologies
That
for
means
that.
Gilgit Baltistan and what they have written as Azad Kashmir in CIA fact book. Everything in that mustard green is with you. So GB again is a problem because PLA will have issues on that, not on POK, balanced POK. Rivers of Pakistan again not a problem now. It becomes much worse because you can attack from right close to Islamabad, Rawalpindi. But would US accept it? Because after all, for so many decades, it has been a flunky of the US. And there are still a lot of people there who have soft corner for the Pakis. So how do you do? Because a lot of think tanks have these retired Pakistani officers who are part of that think tank who act as if they are anti-establishment but work with the establishment. So they organize, you can say, uh, lectures and seminars to bring in the Pakistani point of view. We don't have much like that. They don't have, and even in they also have in UK and Germany quite a lot. That's how all these things come about, like that famous hunger index and others which came out from Germany.
अभी बीडे में है
They
ना.
had a, no, but they had all those people who are working on that project from Pakistan. We don't have that. So if it is not acceptable to Pakistan, we to USA, we need to see how to go to work with them. I think this may not be acceptable to the US. Okay, next.
May I, sir,
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
you know, the strategic depth to Islamabad, जो आपने, I mean, you kind of put across here,
Yeah,
is interesting.
not operational depth,
हाँ,
not
operation,
strategic.
ठीक है, sir.
Operational.
Now, I'm gonna try and find a map to superimpose on this right now as you go on to the next one, where we can actually see the G219 coming down, sir. The
Okay.
CPEC.
नहीं नहीं G219 तो अक्साई चीन से आ रहा है.
हाँ, वो ऊपर जाके नीचे आता है जो काश्मीर से जो.
ये तो अक्साई चीन से जा रहा है. That is other one which comes through the Punjab pass.
जी. Now मेरे को
That is the
ये पूछना
Karakoram
है.
highway.
मेरे को ये पूछना है, सर. In this entire game, And yeah, please, you'll have to give us some insight on that. How does this game of the CPEC fit into this
That's
thing?
what I said. GB
Now,
is critical for CPEC because the Karakoram highway passes through GB.
Hanji. So now, when we decide to do
Americans
some,
will be Americans will be very happy if you take over that area.
what about the Chinese, sir?
But you have to work towards that. I'll tell you. You have to work towards how you evict those Chinese from. These are not things which happen overnight. You have to
Huh.
work towards that. I'll tell because this is the lesson which the Americans have also learned and how
Sir,
they are doing it in Pakistan.
let's go, sir.
You not only take over POK, you take over Sindh also. So Pakistan is just a rump, West Punjab, landlocked. The green portion is what is left of Pakistan. So anyway, rivers not an obstacle. Defense of Pakistan is weak. It is because it is landlocked and is dependent on you for survival. The only major port it ever has, which it has even today, is Karachi. It
Karachi.
loses that. It loses that. There's nothing left. So, at one stroke, the complete relevance of Pakistan ends. There is no geostrategic relevance of Pakistan thereafter because Khyber Pakhtunkhwa would have gone to अपना Afghanistan, and
Hmm.
Balochistan would be a separate state in itself. Would you like to take over Balochistan? Or would you like Sindh and Balochistan to be independent states? These are the options you have to think about here.
G.
Which, for me, this is the best solution. That Sindh should not be part of Pakistan. For all the follies and foibles and everything that it has brought into the world today, but doing what it is and being the font of terrorism, this will be the payback for it कि भाई साहब आप ये green लेके आप बैठ के खुश रहो. Remove all the nuclear weapons, defang it, and let him be happy. Thereafter, what does he? As it is, the who are able to run away from Pakistan are already emigrating, not visiting. Their trickle has started, it will turn into a flood. That's it. But would it be acceptable to USA? Because it's not about Pakistan, it's about you. You become very strong.
Yeah. That's very interesting, important.
Because they also know that if this happens, 30 years down the line, West Punjab will also merge with India. बंदे भाग जाएंगे वहां से कुछ बचेगा नहीं वहां पे इट विल मर्ज विद इंडिया एंड देन Indus eastwards would be all yours, including Gilgit Baltistan, and you become very strong. So, would it be acceptable to Pakistan? So, while you may like this, I say, my assessment, but you have to work it slowly, never be in a hurry. If this is what you want to achieve, work to achieve this over 70 to 100 years. आपको 8-10 साल के अंदर नहीं मिलेगा
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
स्टेप बाय स्टेप सो पहला स्टेप है गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान को ले लो पूरा नॉट नो मिलिट्री ऑफेंसिव आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग ऑफ एनी मिलिट्री ऑफेंसिव what you take by force you lose by force live by the sword you'll die by the sword so
True.
this has to be orchestrated through what the Chinese called the three warfares and through their unrestricted warfare. You have to orchestrate these things. Can we go next?
Yes, sir. I just want to show this, sir,
Yeah,
which was my question.
yeah. That's what I said. No? This green patch, see
Hmm.
the red one on top. The
That's
small
China.
patch in China, that is Xinjiang, Tashkorgan. That province is Tashkorgan. It's a Tajik predominant province. And the green portion is the one which is coming in, that you see is green and a little bit of red. That is all going through Gilgit Baltistan.
Ji.
In any case, this Karakoram highway was built in late 70s. हम तब चुपचाप रहे थे, कुछ नहीं किया. Okay. So that's why a lot of Chinese I had spoken to when I visited China were quite surprised that why are you doing it now? You never raised this issue in the 70s when we made this. ठीक है. उस वक्त तो उथल पुथल हो रहा था. Emergency हुआ, Indira Gandhi was toppled, then the other government was toppled, Janta government, and there was infighting in Janta government. So you are not looking at any of these things. See, when you have a climate of political uncertainty, then you don't look at these things outside that closely.
Mm, mm.
ठीक है. So ये है. The moment you have taken all this away, all this goes. So phase one, take create a situation where the Gilgit Baltistan Baltis themselves create a momentum to join up with you and be part of Greater Ladakh. That was what was Greater Ladakh. And so they become part of Greater Ladakh. They are Shias there, like we had discussed earlier. Kargil and all these places are all same stock
Sure.
Shias,
Yes, sir. Mm.
and the Ladakhis, and they have been living in harmony. And
Centuries now.
yeah, for centuries they have been living in harmony. उनके तो आपस में शादियां भी होती रही है. So they are okay with each other. So you will have one whole Greater Ladakh available to you. Gilgit Baltistan would be part of Ladakh, and then you create something for Sindh while working towards what you want to do for Balochistan and KP. हो गया
Mm.
आपका काम. धीरे 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 धीरे. एंड वो धीमी आंच पे खाना पकाते हैं ना.
दम मार रहे हो.
दम नहीं. शिकार में जो जाते थे वो कहते थे कि खाना जो उनका मीट वगैरह बनता था तो धीमी आंच में 6-8 घंटे में बनता है. अभी जैसे यूपी में चले जाओ, हमारे भोपाल में भी दे यूज्ड टू मेक निहारी लेफ्ट ओवर मीट के साथ अर्ली मॉर्निंग
जी.
ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए. इट इज कुक्ड ऑन स्लो फायर थ्रू द नाइट. या
हाँ.
बाय अर्ली मॉर्निंग जब पहला उनका अजान होता है, आई थिंक 4:30 5 o'clock, उसके बाद प्रेयर करके आते हैं, नमाज पढ़ के आते हैं और वो निहारी खाते हैं. तो वो इस स्लो आंच में पकाओ तो निहारी मिलेगी आपको. जल्दबाजी नहीं करना.
ये बड़ा एक चक्कर है. आई थिंक हम लोग ना थोड़ा सा इमोशनली वो हो जाते हैं कि थोड़ा.
Hasty.
हाँ,
Never
हाँ,
be
हाँ.
hasty. Never be hasty. These things can never happen in a hurry.
Okay. Now a hypothetical, sir.
Yeah.
And guys, I'm just asking a question, huh? So please don't get angry at me कि ये कुछ दे रहा है and all that stuff. How about a sharing agreement in that area? Now you've got the CPEC,
Hmm.
that road. Let's take that
No.
road as a divider of Gilgit Baltistan.
Why do you want to divide it?
I'm just asking, sir, because the reason is that way both the
See,
things.
the see why I say why the Afghans will also like it, because I'm saying that KP Khyber Pakhtunkhwa goes to them
Ji,
through Ladakh, Greater Ladakh. You have direct connectivity to Afghanistan.
that is true.
सेंट्रल एशिया अफगानिस्तान आई सेड ना, जैसे ही गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान आपके पास आ गया, सेंट्रल एशिया अफगानिस्तान को आपको डायरेक्ट कनेक्टिविटी आ गई. दिल बी
And by the
हैप्पी.
way, I am not saying कि वो जो area पाकिस्तान में रहता है. No, I'm talking about wherever it
नो नो
goes. I mean,
गिव. आई एम सेइंग यू टेक इट द होल हॉग,
जी,
बिकॉज रोड के उस तरफ वाले जो शिया लोग हैं उन्होंने क्या गुनाह किए.
वो भी बात है.
Centuries of connectivity with Ladakh, which has been there for so many centuries, almost more than a millennia. Why do you
हाँ,
want to break that?
ज़्यादा सर ज़्यादा.
So why do you want to break that? Let it be together. And essentially, whatever we are giving into Afghanistan without recognizing them is for the people. It's a people's connect. खाना पीना जाता है, it's a people's connect. And that is the chota sa embassy staff which is there, which looks after
हाँ
distribution to the people. Our program in Afghanistan has always been a bottom up approach. Whatever the
जी
provinces want, and then based on what the provinces have asked for, we give the money to conduct that. It's not a dole being given like the
हाँ
Americans in the West do, a dole being given to the government. वो तो लपेट के खा जाएंगे पूरा. तो गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान, now you have got to see how you're going to work it out with the Americans. If initial stage POK is not to be part of us, let it not be. Quietly work with them. Already work is on with them. Continue with that work. 8-10 साल के अंदर वो भी मर्ज हो जाएंगे आपके साथ कि हमें नहीं जीना वहां पे. After all, how long is Sayyid Salahuddin going to continue living? ठीक है ना? Okay. Next. Now, इसके next. Yeah. Now, in the near term, it may be able to stay with its extant problem in the coming 3-4 years, because the degrading of its polity, of its uh, security situation, slowly it will take place. The
yeah it's not
defanging
like
of its
China.
military, defanging of its military and nukes would also occur gradually. जल्दबाजी में कोई नहीं करेगा ऐसा. क्योंकि जल्दबाजी करने जाओगे तो कोई ना कोई न्यूक चोरी करके भाग भी जाएगा. So it will go slowly.
ये सीमोर हर्ष
And
ने बोला था सर
क्या
कि you know the we in America think that we know quite a bit about Pakistan. The Pakistanis always joke about you probably know every little weapon that is on the books, but you don't know about the two that are lying in the tall grass right next to the runway.
so वही है कि you have to do it in a gradual manner, and in the medium term, that is around 10 years as I see from now, Baluchistan and KP would have gone. Baluchistan and KP would have gone. And the gradual Somaliization of Pakistan would have started. It has already started, would start emanating in the face.
Hmm.
Because by then, if you have been able to do something in GB and POK, or rather whole of POK, then that becomes a disputed area. That is when you need to look at how to redraw the borders. Abhi mat karo. How you need to redraw the borders, because these situations are dynamic. Your redrawing also has to be in a gradual, phased manner, a step-by-step approach. If you are able to achieve the full redrawing what you wanted of a particular area, do it. If you're not, step-by-step approach mein karo na. Go the Chinese way. What he's trying in your LAC, salami slicing.
So I'd like to change the thoda sa. Salami slicing is
Uh,
too raw, sir. It's
okay.
polite. Inch forward.
Yeah. Keep stretching the envelope in your favor. So, but you have to remember, whatever is your final objective, what you want to achieve takes a long time. Look at Iraq. It's still work in progress, but those areas have been
They've reached
demarcated
us.
and you have
Yeah,
understood कि ये
they've
ऐसे है, ये
reached us.
शिया वाला है, ये सुन्नी वाला है, वो कुर्द वाला
Correct,
है.
correct,
Okay.
correct.
So you should use proxies to actualize this. Lessons from Iraq, Libya, Yemen, Syria, and now Ukraine. प्रॉक्सीज को इस्तेमाल करना है, आपने नहीं करना.
So what, sir? The
You,
definition of being a superpower is to have proxies?
yeah, definition of a superpower is not that you're a proxy. that you
No,
can create all these problems.
to
Yeah,
have
you
proxies.
create you can create problems with your proxies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
See, they have learned the lesson. First Iraq war, because it was UN mandated. They earned 15 at the end of the war. US was plus $59 billion. All the Gulf countries paid them money to execute that operation. $59 billion is what the Americans earned from the first Gulf War. By the time second Gulf War they walked out from Iraq, they were minus $15 trillion. And by the time they have walked out of Syria and walked out of Afghanistan, they are minus $31 trillion. It doesn't work to put boots on your ground. When you're not being, there is no mandate and people are not ready to accept it. All people, like today, what is the lesson that they are drawing? If you just put on the map, ask for an image or a map on Google, nations that support and do not support the war in Ukraine, you will be
oh,
amazed.
there's nothing.
90% of the who are recognized as countries don't support the Ukraine.
It's just the North America, a little bit of Europe and Australia and Japan.
And their allies who are there, that's about all. So it's an eye opener. And that is why he hesitates to do that. But I'm sure at the end of Ukraine war, whichever way it ends, the military industrial complex of USA would have made billions of dollars. I'm not saying the government would have made. Now the military industrial complex would have made. So the retirement plans of a lot of politicians and State Department and military people will be in the military industrial complex.
I saw this guy who's the Lloyd Austin, right?
Hmm.
He
Yeah,
was a director in Raytheon.
yeah. So he's come here, he'll go back. So we have to be very careful how we use the strategy while assisting USA for our own gains. There has to
Mm.
be a fair level of deniability available to what you're going to do. Because China is not going to like it one bit
Absolutely.
because it opens up three fronts for China:
Mhm.
Xinjiang front, your LAC, and its eastern seaboard. Because he is most scared that if you come into GB, you're going to give a free run to A team to come into Xinjiang. And why won't I? Why won't I? You've been creating all problems for me in the northeast. They'll go through. I'll say, yeah, there's so many valleys and so many this thing I can't control. I don't know. They must have come through Wakhan corridor. That is why on Tajikistan border at the Wakhan corridor, right next to where it is very close to its border with Afghanistan, but in Tajikistan they have a post. The Chinese have a post to monitor whether ATIM will use this route through Wakhan corridor to come.
Exactly. They actually made
Yeah.
there is a base उन्होंने एक और base बनाया था, which is about 20 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken, 20 kilometers from north from the Wakhan corridor, somewhere in the center of the Wakhan corridor.
नहीं एक ही बनाया अभी तक तो
नहीं
what I
सर,
know
दूसरा
of.
बनाया है सर. They made
बना
just
दिया है.
when Afghanistan was, हाँ, एक temporary base इन लोगों ने और बनाया है. एक जहाँ पर इनका base है ना, in that thin strip of land के ऊपर एक
हाँ
जहाँ
हाँ
पर
हाँ.
base है. Just 20 kilometers from this border, they've made another base. So it's
इतना कर
either
दो.
a forward outpost or something like that, but they've created something. This happened when the Americans went from.
Okay, okay,
हाँ जी,
okay.
हाँ जी.
So I think this is the end of the slides.
नहीं सर, एक और है.
एक और है, दिखा दे. Yeah, like the spoilers in this are China and Iran and to some extent Afghanistan. Iran, because if Balochistan is to fructify in the manner in which the Americans are saying, just look at the amount of land which goes away from Afghanistan, because Kandahar के नीचे पूरा इलाका चला जाता है, and that is the गढ़ of Taliban.
जी.
So these will need to be worked up how. And China, of course, loss of CPEC and backlash in Xinjiang, like I said, opens a third front. Xinjiang, India, and Eastern Sea. दो फ्रंट संभाली नहीं जा रही, तीसरी फ्रंट कैसे संभाले? His whole deployment in Ladakh gets turned. अभी तो दो डिवीजन उसने सदर्न सिंकियांग से डाल रखे हैं. सिंकियांग मिलिट्री डिस्ट्रिक्ट हैज फोर डिविजन्स, टू टू द नॉर्थ इन उरुमची एंड टू टू द साउथ नियर खोतान. तो दो जो डिवीजन वहां के हैं वो लेके आया है यहाँ पे. द मोमेंट थिंग्स व्हाट्सअप इन सिंकियांग, तो ये भी चलेगा, फिर किसको लाएगा? Okay, so we have to do our net assessment. I keep harping again, but what we have to remember is the net assessment is not just blind copy of the Americans. We have to do a net. When we do the net assessment, we have to be very clear in the options that we are looking at. How does it impact our security? This is not worked out by the Americans because they're doing as an outlying island on the world island. It doesn't impact their security. It doesn't impact the continental security of America, whatever actions they're going to do there, except for what happened on 9/11. Otherwise, it
Hmm.
has no issue. It is not the case with us. So we have to look at our land, maritime, your aerospace, and internal security dynamics. Because these things can, if we are trying to do something, these things can also be activated from the other side. So how do you protect yourself? So your strategies have to, your core basic and your hedging strategies have to have these aspects fed in. That how do you defend yourself from these things? So ideal is Balochistan is independent, whatever it be, whether portions of Iran and Afghanistan are there with them or not. I'm sure the current Balochistan portion in Pakistan would be happy. Take away Sindh also at some later date, should take away Sindh also from Pakistan and leave it as a rump state of West Pakistan.
West
That's
Punjab.
what you are. Yeah, that is West Punjab. That's what you
Then one
behave.
can invite the Khalistanis. ये लो जी, बन गया तुम्हारा.
Yeah, yeah.
समझ लो.
And give West Punjab to the Khalistanis and say, Khalistan, please,
ये लो जी. Cheers.
please go. Be happy.
Capital is Lahore. डंडे लगाओ.
Yeah.
शुरू हो जाओ.
दूधो नहाओ फूटो फलो. ठीक है. So this is what I had. So questions most.
This is, I mean, I have so many questions myself. I don't know what to say.
मैंने कहा ना, देसी तड़का. Twist.
Desi tadka. Guys, I will keep on adding my little nitbits of questions, but I want you guys. There's so many questions, more than 230 people watching. Guys, let's hit out with regards to what General Narayan has said. Let's bring about your thoughts. I want us to
By the way, you
talk.
will not find this in any of the write-ups or talks anywhere.
Sir, तभी तो लोग आते हैं सुनने के लिए. To be very humble about
अलग
it.
सोच है,
Yeah, this is a
टेढ़ी
different thought
सोच है.
process. So guys, please just पहले तो यार 200 लोग हैं, 200 से ज़्यादा लोग हैं, 200 लाइक तो बनते हैं. प्लीज उतने तो करा दीजिए आप सारे लोग, so that I can. अभी 87 likes हैं. Let's please everybody just touch that like button, so that this video goes as viral as the one before. That the previous one I think has gone up to about 26 or 27,000 views at the moment. And daily basis, sir, there are, especially in the evenings, 8:39, you get large numbers of people watching
Large.
that even now. So this will be a good
And
precast
this
to that.
makes a difference to our thought process inside India.
Yes,
Most welcome.
absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, if you can, please do help out the DevTalks efforts. The QR code is right on top. Or you can become a member with the DevTalks channel, or you can send us a super sticker or a super chat through your chat box below. So let's get into the question. There are so many namaskarams and namastes. Thank you so much to everyone. Rohit Goel says hi, hello. And of course, there is a comment that came right before the show started.
Yeah,
Equally, General Rajiv says,
Somodeep, thank you.
thank you so much. Now, let's dig into the things. Why do you want a POK with a radicalized population? It will tear apart India.
Mukund, it's not happening overnight. That's why I said you have to work towards doing that. The three warfare strategy. So you have to work towards making sure that the other people who are not radicalized get after the radicalized one. That's when you would like to take it. Otherwise, why take it and create more problems for yourself? So it's a counter thing that you do. Why are
Hmm.
we sitting reactive that, oh, they are radicalized? So what? Give enough moral boost and support and other things in the words that they say, no, no, we are only providing them moral support to what was going on then in Kashmir. I just provide the moral support and let the common man hit out at the radicals. The and essential part, you have such a big best platform that the radicalization has resulted in where Pakistan is today.
Exactly.
Simple. अरे वही हो गए ना, आप धोबी का कुत्ता ना घर का ना घाट का.
Nagar ka nagar ka. Exactly, sir.
ना पाक चाइना तुमको को कुछ करने वाला है, ना यूएस तुमको कुछ करने वाला है, ना गल्फ कंट्रीज कुछ करने को तैयार हैं तुम्हारे लिए. Who wants a radicalized society? Nobody. So you have a platform to work on. Are you going to
And
use
it
it?
has to happen through not through military intervention, as you said. It has to
No,
be a
no, 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 no.
social intervention.
Yes, yes, yes. It has
So
to be
social intervention
socially
will,
and socio-politically integrated with.
so that will obviously carry a
Yeah.
thought process on how to handle this
No,
particular case.
no. I will do the what they keep harping on, apna referendum. I will do a phased referendum. So first I'll work with the people of GB and do a referendum and they join with me. Then I'll work with the people of POK, balance POK, do a referendum and get them to join me. Khatam.
You know, I
मैंने तो
personally
यूथ
also had the honestly, I personally had the same opinion. But honestly, sir, you've converted my entire thought. Ki if the
लड़के
damn
क्या
thing is
ले.
gonna be lying on a platter, then why should I let it go to anybody else?
यस एंड दिख तो रहा है पूरा कि किस तरह से टूट रहा है. It is creaking at the hinges today.
Yeah, yeah. Sir, I don't know if you saw this map that I shared with you on WhatsApp, वो जो TTP का claimed area है. He's asking why JNK line has been shaded. What does that mean? It is a
Oh, yeah.
map, yeah, which is probably originated from Pakistan. Uh, I'll try and see if I can
TTP का
actually.
claim.
So, map. What I'll do is
Yeah.
okay. Vaman, let me come back to you. I'll put that map up for sir for his comments, and so I'll ask you this question again, sir.
They have worked. They have worked it with the map which Pakistan uses, the official map,
Yeah. So a question will
where
be in
they
India.
show the complete JNK as part of them.
नहीं नहीं ये थोड़ा सा different shading है सर. I'll show it to you. Give me a
Okay.
second. I'm just transferring it to the computer. Wouldn't be it India's strategic interest to have direct land access to Tajikistan and other CIS countries?
Yes. Good question. That's why I was saying the GB should be with us. The moment GB is with you, you have direct land access to Tajikistan. See, can you show that map? The पहला वाला मैप कोई भी एक मैप JNK वाला दिखा दो.
ये वाला और the other one sir.
नहीं 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 मेरा वाला
इसके
जो था,
नहीं है ना.
जो CIA वाला फैक्ट बुक का मैंने बोला था ना,
हाँ जी एक
फर्स्ट
सेकंड.
मैप आज़ाद कश्मीर. Yeah. Now you see, the moment you have Gilgit Baltistan with you, you can make an access into the Wakhan corridor. There is a beautiful highway already available in the Wakhan corridor, coming to the almost to the border with Pakistan. वो बना नहीं है to China. Once you cross that, you are into Afghanistan, and the moment you hit Kunduz, there is a beautiful road which was built by the Americans and the Japanese. From Kunduz, there is a bridge at Pianj River at what's called Shere Bandar or something. I'm forgetting the name. It crosses in and goes. A beautiful highway takes you into Tajikistan. You go further west, you hit uh, अपना Mazar-e Sharif. Mazar-e Sharif is straight up. You go to the Friendship Bridge made by the Soviet Union yesteryears, and you're going into Uzbekistan. So you are in land corridor is through to Tajikistan. That's why I said your land corridor to Central Asia is through. You don't have to worry. And there is another bridge which has been made where the mouth of the Wakhan corridor is. There is a place called Ishkashim. From there up north, there is a bridge crossing into the eastern portion of Tajikistan, which is called the Gorno Badakhshan or the mountainous Badakhshan
Gurno
province.
Badakhshan.
And, and it goes straight to Khodog, which is the capital of that province. Your connectivity is complete.
And Khudok se to aage pura old Soviet links are
Khodog
still
se,
there.
no, Khodog se going along the border, it goes right into
Yeah,
Kyrgyzstan.
yeah. Hmm.
So your connectivity is complete as far as Central Asia is concerned. Land
So
corridor.
this is what Vaman was asking for, sir. Why is this JNK shaded?
It is that old. That's why I say na, the yellow portion, which is that Gilgit Baltistan and the balance Azad Kashmir, which they talk of, the POK portion. They still are showing it as part of Pakistan, and the shaded one is the Pakistani shaded one that कि हमने ये भी लेना है, Jammu भी लेना है. The shaded one is your valley and Jammu and all the other areas. Their
Hmm.
plan has always been to have a headless India so that they have a straight connectivity with China. आप रिवर्स कर रहे हो, ये पूरा
And this
इलाका आप ले लोगे तो you have a direct connectivity to cars, and then moment you have that, then they are worried that
we don't
alien will
need to
come
make a
into.
headless Pakistan, sir. It's already there.
वो तो अब तो हेडलेस तो हो ही गया है, जीबी तो वर्चुअली इट डजंट रन. देयर आर प्रॉब्लम्स प्लेंटी
Terrible
देयर.
problem.
पीओके में भी देयर आर प्रॉब्लम्स आर प्लेंटी गोइंग ऑन इन पीओके आल्सो. या
Now all their past evil deeds coming back to haunt them. Even POK, Balochistan or Sindh want to join us. Let them be independent nation like Bangladesh. Your opinion?
I would still, I have a soft corner for Sindh, I would say, for some reason. Get the Sindh with you. Okay.
Somehow so do I, sir.
Yeah. And Balochistan, yes, let it be independent. They always wanted to be independent, though
They always want to.
the line of Balochistan wanted to be part of India, but at that time it couldn't be because Sindh was not part of India. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan wanted to be part of India. The Raja of Kelat never wanted to join Pakistan. He was coerced into joining. Kelat is the main principality of the kingdom of Sindh. So Sindh le lo, Sindh is not a major issue. Sindh le lo. But if you feel that initially, that's why I said you do a net assessment. If you feel it works to your interest, if it stays as an independent nation, go ahead.
Net assessment.
But because उस net assessment में you have also to see the survivability of such independent nations. Don't compare it with Bangladesh. Bangladesh has still not yet tapped all its potential. It has still a lot which it can offer. It has still a lot which it can offer. सिंध तो पूरा आपका डेजर्ट है यार. लोअर रिपेरियन स्टेट हो जाएगा. देन इफ यू लीव पंजाब और वो अकेले वो और वेस्ट पंजाब दैट इज पाकिस्तान, दे विल फाइट विद ईच अदर बिकॉज वो फिर इंदस का पानी डाइवर्ट करना शुरू करेगा. And I don't trust him like we are doing it with the IWT. We have not yet made it act of war or used it for warlike reasons of
For
stopping
warlike
water and
reasons.
other
Yes, sir.
things.
Mm.
We've not
Mm.
done that. It still flows, but I don't trust the Pakistan Punjab to react in the same manner.
Will America keep Pakistan in coma as part of revenge for Afghanistan and control Russia from warm water ports? This warm water
I
port concept is somehow, it's been sold
I
so
don't buy
badly.
that. I
Yeah,
don't buy Shanbag warm water port. Why does he need a warm water port?
he's got
पूरी
warm water
ब्लैक सी
ports.
उसकी है, whole Mediterranean is his. What does he need an input there? Murmansk on north,
Yeah,
people forget it's in the tundra, Murmansk, right north in Russia, but it's a warm water port.
warm water port.
The Gulf Stream, which is a warm stream, hits that place. It is open 24/7, 365 days
Yeah,
a year.
and it's frozen
There
outside,
is,
but it's warm.
yeah, no other port in the entire region is open except Murmansk.
Murmansk.
कभी सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर को पढ़ो, वो लैंड लीज इसमें all the aid that used to come to Russia during winters, Soviet Union during winters used to come through Murmansk.
Murmansk.
So warm water
This
port, why
warm
does he
water
need?
port thing was sold during Ziaul Haq's
Yeah,
time and especially during the invasion of Afghanistan.
yeah.
जैसे अब नहीं बोलते oh the Russians are going to come down and take the warm water port. Now they're saying oh they will come and take over half of Eastern Europe. This was again a narrative that was actually built up at that time.
Okay.
So
Now, if he came into Afghanistan, Afghanistan is landlocked. Yeah.
yeah,
Where is the warm water port?
no, the narrative so that Pakistan could get involved, and I've heard Ziaul Haq talking about this, that
I
it is
know.
just 350 kilometers, straight drive into the warm water ports of Karachi. And Vaman, if you want some more information, I've actually done a show on this with regards to comparative of the Ukraine war and the Afghanistan war and the situations both of them had. I had some nice, some declassified material that I'd used for that show. Have a check out. You'll kind of get. I'd share that document with you, sir. What would happen? What would be the interest of individual region-specific strong factions amongst the Pakistani army with regards to land grab of separated regions? What is their nuisance value?
SN, like I said, what you're looking at is immediate term. These things don't happen in the immediate term. Interesting question. Could be available in the long term, but you have to work around it. That's why I said that when you do those net assessments, you've taken your strategy. Every 5 years, you got to do your course correction. How does the biggest problem today, as I visualize, is radicalization is seeping in into the Pak army very deep.
Hmm.
How is the Pak army going to react? Already, like I said in one of the shows, Aadi ke show me, 5,000 from your the frontier constabulary walked out with weapons. It was all ranks, officers, JCOs, NCOs, men, everybody. They're refusing to fight because all these people come from normal government schools and madrasas. And they're being taught jihad is the way of life. There's nothing else that they're being taught. Hardcore, austere Sharia of uh, 9th, 10th, 11th century, 12th century. They know nothing else. Jihadis are supposed to be the heroes, and that Sharia is the way of life. And now, when
Cha.
you're asking him to fight the TTP, he turns around and asks his boss, he's only asking that we should follow Sharia.
What's wrong in that?
What's wrong? Why should I fight him? Yeah, out of 15,000, if 5,000 walk out, it's not a joke. One third of your force have just walked
Gone.
out.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
have they gone? अभी तक कोई बता नहीं रहा है पाकिस्तान में. हथियार के साथ गया है वो. कितना
और
एम्यूनिशन ले गया है वो मेरे को पता नहीं.
मैं यही पूछ रहा हूँ और क्या लेके गया मुझे नहीं पता.
और क्या क्या लेके गया मुझे पता नहीं. क्या वो हैज ही जॉइन टीटीपी? So you have to work carefully through these. It's not through your physical intervention. I keep repeating, I am not that the Indian army should start attacking here.
Have they
Our
joined the
threat,
TTP?
our prime threat is to the north. Never forget that.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever glib talk he may say, whatever anybody may say, sorry, the main threat is there. Here, use any other means to sort it out. And it is in a prime situation today to be sorted out once and for all when you use other means.
So that you can
It is
focus on the north.
war by other means. Keep your focus to the north. Just don't take it out. North मतलब केवल land border नहीं, your पिछवाड़ा भी
The
है,
north-based
Indian
threat.
Ocean. Yes,
North-based threat.
north
Hanji,
based
Hanji.
threat is your land, continental, maritime, and aerospace, and in all domains. Internal threat, multiple domains. We have spoken about it earlier, the kind of
Yes.
threat he poses to India. So look at that. Ye war by other means, sort it out, and it can be sorted.
CIA will ensure proper breakup of Pakistan. How?
हो तो रहा है already. It's already creaking. Mandar, it's already creaking. Like I showed it to you, Baluchistan, his writ is
Yeah.
total question mark. KP has already declared its own government and it has its own laws and they are following it, and TTP is ensuring that it is there, that it is run that way. GB is in a turmoil. He doesn't know can he go strong on it because the Chinese are angry with him. Here, Chinese are safe there. Chinese have not yet been targeted in GB. He doesn't know how to react there. So it is a disputed sort of an area. And he has a 10 years hold on what he calls the Azad Kashmir, the balanced POK, Punjab, and Sindh. Sindh में भी resistance शुरू हो रहा है. That Sindh resistance army
वो उसको
पहले
मारा ना सर, ये जो हिजबुल वाले को.
या देख या that नहीं
And
नहीं
they put out a thing, ये तो हमने मारा है, and
या
all the Hindu brothers,
अल बदर का अल बदर का leader who was a
yeah,
teacher,
Hindu,
they killed him.
our brothers in Hindustan should know that we did this for you.
Yeah, they've killed him. पंजाब
That
बचा
was
है, वहां
very.
पे भी टीटीपी के कई स्ट्राइक्स होते रहते हैं.
Hmm.
कराची में जस्ट इमेजिन द पुलिस चीफ लाइंस में जाके इन दैट मस्जिद दे blew up that masjid. Then in the IG's office यार अंदर घुस के तमाशा किया हुआ है इन कराची. So Pakistan today is creaking because now they don't have anything available. This is what happens. पहले तुम planned militant attack करो and react with the army very fast and say 2 घंटे में मैंने sort out कर दिया. जब आपने प्लान नहीं किया है, दूसरे ने प्लान करके अटैक किया, तो अब आपको पता चलता है कितना टाइम लगता है. That will be problem. So the breakup is not going to happen overnight. Let's be clear again, I underline it's not happening overnight. It will gradually seep to that like it happened in Iraq.
That is what we need to understand, sir. I agree. If we take P, it will be a snake around the neck. Let them be independent without a capability interfering in our affairs in Kashmir.
Yeah,
POK.
we just take GB, बचा हुआ जो पीओके वो बाद में देखते हैं.
Funny comment. In 1971, USA couldn't do anything. Just proved to be bloody Yanks after all.
See, at that time they were with their flunky, if I may use the term.
Yeah.
So they were most worried that the flunky was going to lose power because they were happy, since you were aligned with the Soviet Union, that they had something on both your flanks. And if you sorted out one flank, then the, how would he create problems for you on both flanks?
G.
So that's how it was. But it took a while because they created turmoil within Bangladesh also. It is only now that it is stabilizing to some extent.
You keep saying USA will USA accept it? What I mean, what will USA do if we take it without USA's blessing? Can they afford to go against India? We are
हमें
strong, but not
interesting
that strong.
question. जाकी पांव पसारी जितनी लंबी रजाई.
आई थिंक ये आपने
आज के आज के तारीख में यू नीड यूएसए to tacitly accept what you do. Maybe 15-20 years down the line, when things are happening on ground and you have become more strong, you may not need him. But today, you would need his. Let's be clear, he is the one major power in the world today, has been. It is just that the gap between him and others has reduced. So it is not that he is not strong. He has his eyes and ears all over the world. What China is doing, trying to do today through his unrestricted warfare, which he has started from early 2000s, US has been at it since the end of the Second World War. आप लीड टाइम देखते हो कितना है, and he has mastered this art of full, it's called George Engdahl ने लिखा था 2009 में full spectrum dominance. It's worth reading.
जी
Read his book. Your media, your scholars, your polity, the NGOs, there's so many think tanks, everything.
एनजीओस
It's a give and take.
या हार्डकोर सर
ठीक है? So that's how has his eyes and ears everywhere and he
एवरीवेयर
controls. And he does it with a degree of deniability. When he does it through NGOs and through George Soros and all, it's a degree of deniability. कि यार freedom of expression उसकी thought है, उसकी सोच है. So आज के तारीख में टेसिक उसके साथ लेके चलो. When you become very strong in the region and you become a net security provider in the region and you have the capacity and become very strong, then you can dictate to US that this is how, in interest of my security, things will happen in the region. Till then, थोड़ा ठंडे दिमाग
आराम
से हमको काम
आराम से
ठंडे दिमाग से.
What about Punjabi Pakistanis illegally influxing into Gilgit Baltistan when they know what is going to that is going to merge into India?
I don't think Raghu. I don't think the Baltis and the Hunzas will like it. They'll boot them out. When you work with them, they'll boot them. But they've had enough of what these people have done. They wouldn't like them to be in that area.
I don't think the parties will take one more of these Punjabis standing there. With the way what is happening there right now, and jokes apart,
Yeah, yeah,
on a serious note, whatever information that we're getting there,
it's
it's
bad.
terrible.
So
It's
I
terrible.
don't
There's no
think they will
food.
permit them.
There's nothing. I mean, and we have a friend from across the board back again, sir. Rizwan asks, "Hi, gentlemen. How would you convince AJK/POK people to have more affinity with the Gangetic Delhi UP than the Pothari Islamabad? Taxila, i.e., same tribes, clan, lingo, culture, geography, etc. Regards, Jim sir."
Thank you, Rizwan, that you are the first one from across the border I have found who has created these linkages. And these linkages run across the Gangetic Plain, by the way. When you talk of Takshashila was the god of your education and culture of the entire Indo-Gangetic Plain, if you please. So you are very wrong when you think that the Gangetic Plain is separate and that area is separate. मोहनजोदारो हड़प्पा के आप एक्सकेवेशंस देखना और यहाँ पे कालीबंगन एंड अदर एक्सकेवेशंस देखना, the layout is very same. The
Yeah,
write-ups are very same.
yeah.
The symbols that you get for the kings and others are similar. So these were all one culture, not different culture. So please
They
don't bring in
migrated now
differences in culture.
because the water kind of shifted, so they also migrated.
Uh,
There is some
the
evidence which is coming out
migrations,
with regards to that
see, the migrations took place when the Saraswati river dried up,
disappeared.
disappeared. And then you came to the Indo-Gangetic plain. So Takshashila and all the way across the Indo-Gangetic plain is one culture. There are no different tribes and different things and different that's. I'm sorry. Purana map nikalo, the 16 Mahajanpads which were there. post the Mahabharat war, and you'll be very clear. These were all same culture, same this thing, same
Yeah,
this
yeah.
thing. Punjabi jo hai, you speak the same Punjabi that our people speak across
Ask people
this side
speak.
of the border. Yeah, your
And
food
right in
habits are
Himachal.
similar.
Yeah,
Yeah, your
right in
food habits
Himachal.
are similar.
Exactly.
Food habits are similar. Everything is similar. Antar kya hai? Except that now lot of people have that side were the people who got converted into Muslims from here and who went across there. That's it. But the culture is the same.
True, sir.
It's not different.
Sharada is asking, so brilliant options when we have a long term plan considering the political uncertainty of a democracy. Is it possible? What would your plan be to sustain a plan beyond the variables?
Excellent question, Sharda. This has always been the problem in a democracy, but let us not look at democracy as the change in government. The bureaucracy and the people who work have to be convinced. Once they work, they'll be able to easily convince the politician. It's not a major issue. As long as it doesn't affect his political certainty of winning elections, and that certain things which he can use to claim victory for himself in the political campaigns, he'll be happy.
I must say,
So, this thing of political uncertainty of a democracy has been used quite glibly. But we need to look at that. Do you think it is the politicians themselves who run the government? I don't think so. ठीक है ना? Like, don't take today's foreign minister. He is a wonderful person.
yeah, yeah.
As Jaishankar, he is a class apart. But uske pehle, do you think when Sushma Swaraj ji was there, God bless her soul, of course she did a lot of work. Was she doing it herself? Rajnath, who works on the various military requirements of all three services and how they're going to fight and what they're going to do. So when you're working out these plans, you already have an NIA in place and you have all the systems, organs available in place for it to be executed. वो चुपचाप से करते रहेंगे यार अपना काम. Like I said, you have to do it with a degree of deniability. That
That's
has
for
to be
me.
there. That's the main part.
It's okay. She has another question. I'm going to take it up. So, ask what can be developed as develop as a leverage to keep the US on our side, considering the tightrope walk engagement with the US always is.
I think, Sharda, you have achieved to some success. After all, Blinken said that they are very happy that India is uh, dealing with the Russian oil based on the cap that they have set. What would you want
Bull.
to say? That's his statement. It's an open
I mean,
statement that he
I'm
has
sure
done.
you saw Jaishankar's expression. He suddenly looked at it.
Yeah. अच्छा. The next aspect, सारी दुनिया ने कोशिश कर लिया, but where did Blinken and Lavrov meet?
वही मैं
Here,
कल रात को भी बोला ना सर. The
here,
politic behind this politics
yeah.
is not
What all
something
has
which was
gone?
viable by any other country today.
Yeah. So you will never openly say that I have this and I have that. You will
Yeah.
not.
You don't need to
Some,
mediate. You need to facilitate the mediation.
yeah. Now, when we are working towards this, you can't work with one plan.
Yeah.
You have to have multiple lines of actions going on. Some may succeed, some may not succeed. But the ones which succeed can be coalesced together to take it further to achieve your aim. एक प्लान से इसमें सक्सेस निकले.
Great discussion out of the box, but that's how radical ideas come through. That change destiny. Kudos. Thank
थैंक
you.
यू संदीप भल्ला, थैंक यू.
Sir, is are Indian think tanks even thinking about all this? Rhetorical question, I think. But anyways,
I have not, like I said in the beginning, I have not read any think tank talking about this.
indeed, can India ever get excitement back? Ooh, एक तो ले लो यार.
One step on the ground is what we taught in military. पहले एक कदम तो ले लो, फिर दूसरा देखेंगे.
100. Okay. If there would be any political instability in India for a period of next 70 years, then how can we ensure this geopolitical plan is still executed?
I don't think there'll be any geopolitical or political instability in India. I don't see. I say it takes time. So that's why, as nations come, 70 years it takes to work towards this. I'm looking at next 30 years. I don't see any instability. And if this continues and this push, the manner in which it is going, I don't see, because what I see is instability in the opposition at present. Yes, it is not good for democracy. You need a strong opposition, but the opposition has to work it out for themselves. How they're going to do it?
True.
Why would a ruling party lay out to them what they should do? They will never. So I think the instability is not in India, it's in the opposition political parties. And in the next 10, 15 years, something will emerge as a viable opposition. And that will provide you a certain degree of stability.
So we're at 1 hour 20. Can we just rush through with some more comments so that I
Yes,
can take in as many as
yes,
possible? I'd like to kind of see as many as possible people so that it's everybody should be involved in the show. I mean, I think that's
yes.
that's my only thing. Wouldn't China start salami slicing in Gilgit Baltistan before us when the secret is out?
Where are its troops? It's inside. So how does he do the salami slicing? He doesn't have it on the borders. And if he tries to take over today, I don't think the Pakistani army would accept it.
Oh no.
So the northern area GOC will get after. So that's why I said ये आपको socio political movement शुरू कराना
जी,
पड़ेगा, build
जी.
it up, and then get them out. And then when you're sure that in the referendum they will be there, bring in the UN, पोर्शन कर दो कि रेफरेंडम कर दो, अभी रेफरेंडम करके पाकिस्तान आर्मी को हटा दो वहां से, रेफरेंडम कर दो, they say we merge with us and that's it, you move in and take over.
See, guys, one thing I think Sir has brought this out last episode and this one as well. This has to be a social event rather than a
Military.
military one. Military should be a backing to your actions, not the main action itself. And that's something that I understand. That we
Always
need.
remember, war is the last weapon
Absolutely,
when everything else fails. War
absolutely.
is not your first weapon.
Gilgit Baltistan is gettable, but will it be another Kashmir instability?
No, I see more stability within Kashmir, and you look at Ladakh, and it's totally stable. So why should Gilgit Baltistan be unstable? There was no militancy coming from Gilgit Baltistan. I didn't see any Hunzas during my tenures there. None of the Baltis or Hunzas came for any militancy within India. Yeah, some infiltration routes initially were used from there. But after the Kargil war, that also, in fact, much before the Kargil war, that had got blocked.
That's a good point, sir. I must say.
Especially through Kargil.
So,
But those were Sunnis who were coming, not your Shias.
ethnicity will do a lot, I think. Have either one of you seen the documentary called The Unacknowledged? I've seen that one. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, no. Whether
No,
you agree
I've
or
never
not, these two are
not
large
seen.
ones in the tick mind. I've seen the first one. Let me see the other one. I'm sure I'll be able to comment on it after that. Let's see. We don't put out our narrative. No opposition to CPEC as discussed. We should promote our prospect as Mr. Tajikia and Mr. Mirza. Arif Tajakia and yeah, okay.
Pseudonyms. We had done a talk, Jaydev, very correct what you have said. I entirely agree with you. We have done a show on narratives, war on narratives, and where we had spoken at length of where we lack, that we need to bring out our narratives. And there was a joint show also with Baboons, Professor Baboons also on narratives. Have a
Salvatore
look at that.
Babons. Yeah, that was an
We had
excellent
this,
show, guys.
so we had discussed on this, and I entirely agree with you. Where is our narrative? You can't be reactive कि अरे हमको यहाँ बना दिया, हमको वहां बना दिया. वो निकलने से पहले आपका नैरेटिव आ जाना चाहिए.
Correct. Why Bangladesh does not give connectivity to Northeast India? It can make a lot of money that ways, and we can solve the chicken egg problem. I think it's happening now.
Rahul, it's already there.
Yeah.
When I was in chair, I moved our inland water transport, which was repaired, which had been broken down from the northeast and brought to Calcutta docks for repair. It went via the Brahmaputra, जो present cruiser अभी चल रहा है. That cruise liner is going now, आपका Brahmaputra के through from Calcutta and going across into the northeast. This was the first one जो आर्मी ने किया था. सबसे बात करके with full help from the MEA. Mr. Jayashankar was the foreign secretary at that time, and we went all the way through Brahmaputra right up to Dibrugarh, Guwahati and all to Dibrugarh. So it's already on. It's already on. The treaty is getting signed of Chittagong being the port for the northeast. The
Yeah.
road connectivities are coming through. So, like I said, it takes a little time. ऐसे overnight नहीं हो जाता.
So, how will the population who has been indoctrinated for decades integrate? This will create major security issues for India if POK is integrated. Today, yes.
Varanasi, yes, you are very right in what you're saying. That's why I said it doesn't happen overnight. In any way, GB with the Shia population is not that indoctrinated or anything. It's the Sunnis who are there who try to get. So that's why I said try and attempt GB first as a socio-political goal. By then, keep the pot boiling in POK. Get the unradicalized people to push out the radicalized people slowly, slowly, slowly. उसको बाद में लो. अभी immediately मत लेना. Where is the hurry?
Hmm.
What is your hurry? And if you, as you keep the pot boiling with all the other pot boiling, Pakistan stays unstable, and he has too many fires to put out to think about India and quietly work with the Taliban and TTP to hit out at various places, and Balochistan Liberation Army and the Sindh Liberation Army to start hitting out. Resistance Force, I think they call it, or Resistance Army, Sindh Resistance Army. Keep the pot boiling.
I'm going to take two more questions, sir. And of course, there are concerns about your thumb, so please take care.
It's okay. I had my
No, see,
incision in
that's
the
that's the whole
nail
thing.
done.
Even if you have a thumb injury, you always do this. It's always thumbs up.
Yes.
Considering the developments in Afghanistan and Armenia, what is the suitable scenario for the US? Your option one or option two?
Oh, Tibet Monk. Okay. Let's look at Afghanistan. You think now, in hindsight, do you think the Americans left in a hurry with all their weapons left
No,
behind?
no,
Or are you
no.
going to rethink why they went? And now they
They
are
went.
running with the hare and hunting with the hounds. No? What Pakistanis were doing for so many
Yeah,
decades.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
They went with leaving the weapons for Pakistan to get wounded.
Now, as far as Armenia is concerned, let's see which way it blows. If it surrenders its Kurdish area, I
It
feel it's
spoke
a
about
pressure
that
on them.
2 weeks back, sir.
Yeah,
It didn't say surrender.
Kurdistan.
It said that we are going to be ready to talk about it.
Yeah, so that pressure will come on them. Now, they, at the moment for Kurdistan, where is the weakest link? Iraq is a done deal.
Hmm.
Iran, not so easy. Turkey, not so easy. Which is the other place? Armenia.
That's it. I mean,
और अगर आर्मेनिया ने बातचीत करके एडजस्ट करके वो कुर्द को दे दिया जगह, दैट इज द The next on the hit list will be Nagorno-Karabakh, not Armenia. Has America or Russia made a peep when you have sold weapons to Armenia?
No.
Why not? So why not?
And the last, but this is
Armenians,
a very interesting question.
Armenians, Armenians are Christians.
Yeah,
Please remember that.
the
Who
great man.
else? Who
Uh,
else?
why do you say the US is
See,
behind the political turmoil in
John
Pakistan?
Doe, sir, very interesting question. I go by the Latin word which is used in legal, cui bono, CUIBONO. Who gains?
Who gains? Simple.
Who gains? Okay.
Yeah.
इसमें है कि सांप भी मर जाए और लाठी भी न टूटे. So you have not only sorted out Pakistan by creating the political turmoil, that internal security problems through the weapons that they left behind and the ammunition. I have keep repeating again and again. How are they getting sustenance for the weapons that they are using? Ammunition कहाँ से आ रहा है? Okay, इतना ज़्यादा stock of ammunition तो छोड़ा भी नहीं होगा. तो कहाँ से आ रहा है sustenance? And with this, the big tom-tomming of Xi Jinping that CPEC is the main, what did he call it? That was the main fruit of BRI, and he wanted to
Yeah.
show to the world how
Flagship
CPEC would
project.
work. Flagship, khatam ho gaya. It's finished. Today it's dead and gone. And he's told America has told Pakistan कि पैसे नहीं मिल रहे इतने आसानी से. बहुत कर ली तुमने, अब हम तुमको बताएंगे कि क्या करते हैं हम.
पैसे की कदर क्या होती है?
अब हम बताएंगे तुमको कि कैसे काम होता है. That's why I say that if IMF is not giving, after all, IMF will listen to the diktats of US, and they will cry further because an Indian American, the son of a retired DG EME of the Indian Army, Ajay Banga, is today going to be the head of World Bank. और भीख मांगने किसके पास जाएंगे? इंडियन के पास जाएंगे कि पैसे. So just
एफएटी
imagine क्या
एफएटीएफ
हो
में
रहा है
कौन है?
पाकिस्तान.
हमारा है.
So he is sorting out Pakistan for all that he did earlier of running with the hares and hunting with the hounds. And what has come to haunt Pakistan is that taunt of Imran Khan, if I may say, that Afghanistan is out of slavery,
Shackles of slavery.
shackles of slavery. And that has come back to haunt him. कि अब तुमको बताते हैं who is come out of slavery for from whom. And he suddenly realized that Taliban is not talking to him at all. They have come out of the slavery of Pakistan. That is the, when I collate all this, that's why I say that it is US that has created this political turmoil. Imran Khan ko hata diya. Who is next? The known corrupt people who will come who have no clue about what they're going to do.
वो गिराएंगे इसको. That works for US's favor.
Yeah. Now they're worried that if they have the elections, PTI will win. So all the cases against him, trying to put him to jail, but then they get scared because he has tremendous political support. So what happens? The army itself
Right?
appears to be having fishers with him.
They've tried
अभी एक
arresting
देख
him
लो.
like 7 times now.
No, there was a retired that Lieutenant General
Ah,
Shahid who's been arrested for fomenting trouble. Have you ever heard in Pakistan of a retired Lieutenant General being arrested? Times are changing. And this doesn't happen if there is no hand on top of people who are fomenting this. I say that's US.
sir, you know, I this has been a mind-boggling two episodes, and trust me, I want to actually push you to actually talk about a similar kind of a scenario. And I know it does exist about China as well, and we'll talk about it offline how we can actually build that up.
Okay, we'll
But
do that. But what I'm saying is, while you and I may not agree that the US is doing these things, बट भाई वो आज के दिन में कापोदी टूटी कापी है, मानो या ना मानो. Now,
there's no question.
if he is doing that, and he is hell bent in doing certain things, especially in our immediate neighborhood, it makes sense that I start working towards how I can modify or adjust what he is doing in cahoots with him so that my security is not impacted at the end of it.
Mhm.
मुझे
True.
अपने सिक्योरिटी से मतलब है आज के तारीख में. आई एम नॉट, आई मे थिंक दैट आई एम अ डॉन, आई एम नॉट दैट बिग अ डॉन. एक एरिया है मेरे पास पर छोटा है.
True.
कापोदी टूटी कापी यूएस है आज की तारीख में, इसमें किसी को शक नहीं होना चाहिए. तो मुझे ये, all I am saying in these two episodes that I have spoken about is, think certain things may happen. It is not necessary it will exactly happen in which manner it is being panned out. But why wait and be reactive that once something happens, then I will see what I can do? No. Start working towards creating an environment where you are able to secure your own interests within the larger picture, what the strongest power in the earth today is doing. This is my submission.
If there is a change that's supposed to happen, why not modify it to make sure that you are on top of it?
चेंज तो हो रहा है,
No.
मानो या ना मानो, चेंज तो हो रहा है. And it is coming. And you're seeing what is happening with Pakistan today. I'm just trying to do some crystal gazing that if it goes down this road, what is best in my security? What should I do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that is the bottom line of the show. Thanks, guys. I mean, this has been such a wonderful. I wish I can actually read all the comments and put them up on the show. I try and just take some amount because there's just so many of them. And thank you so much for all the support. Sir, obviously, I mean, just a thank you doesn't do justice to what you've brought out in the past 2 days. It's brilliant and something that we need to remember. Thank you so much, sir. And
Thank you. Thank you.
till next Saturday at 3:30 p.m. with General Narayanan for another rip open threadbare of another subject. Thank you guys for joining in.
Yes.
Before I sign off, please like this video. Okay, there are right now as well more than 230 to 40 people watching this show. Please, please, please like this video. It's very critical. A lot many more people should be able to see this and understand where we are coming from so that both the videos can be seen. I'll try and tag them together so it's part one, part two sort of a thing. And we'll see if any other thought processes come up. We'll be sure to address it once more. Thank you so much. Once again, if you can, please do support Dev Talks, the QR right there, or you can become a member or a super thanks or super chats. See you next time. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Jai.